Hi guys, Shelly Fitzgerald with Sew Shelly Quilts. I want to make a cute little label. It's what I'm always making, or labels of some sort. These are going to be on the outside of backpacks for the little twins. They're 2.5, and I'm going to put their names on them so they can tell whose is whose. And so yeah, let's go. Here we go. I'm in the Bernina Embroidery Software Designer Plus 8.2. So I'm going to come up and select New, and right here is my new choice. I'm on Design 6. I've had my software open for a while. I'm going to go back to the Digitize toolbox because when you open the software, that's where you are. I'm going to come up to Insert Artwork, and that's up at the top here. I have taken a photograph, just a JPEG photograph of the fabric that was used in the backpack, and then I just saved it to my desktop. And when I came up to Insert Artwork, I was able to go to that location. I do have my color film open right here. You can tell that it's open. It's yellow, and I can see that it's open here, and there is the picture. If I go into Show Objects, then it actually shows the picture. But if I'm Show by Color, then it shows it like a little sailboat. Obviously, this came in huge. It's 42 by 42, and I don't need anything that large. I'm going to rotate it first. Doesn't matter which. You could rotate it or resize it. Doesn't matter which came first. And I'm going to make this smaller. So I'm going to swipe it down, and I'll make the width 6 inches. I had it on locked proportionately, and now I'll push enter, and there it is. So now I'm going to choose the 0 on my keyboard, which is zoom to fit. You can tell what all of those zoom things are by coming to your view menu, coming to the word zoom. There's an arrow, and it will then start showing you shortcuts that you need to be learning that you'll love. But 0 is one of my very favorite. So I don't need my hoop, so I'm going to come right up here where the hoop is yellow and left click on that, and now it's gone. I'm going to be digitizing this. The first thing I'm going to do is the little black truck. So out of the Digitize toolbox, I'm going to do a closed object. And I don't want the corners hard. I want them soft like this. So I'm going to do that with left and right clicks. Left click is a straight, sharp corner. Right click will be a curve. If I follow it with a left click, then that line will just follow the corner. So then I'm going to come up here, left, right, left. This is a sharp corner, so I'm going to just say left. And then right here, I'm going to go left, right, left, and just soften those corners like the original artwork was. Right, left. This is a sharp corner. I'm just going to say left, left, right, left, come down, left, right, left, and then I had started with a left, so I don't even need to click again. It will close itself. I'll just push enter. So it is a blue fill, which is the default. There's the fill stitch. Blue is number 1. I could have chosen to start with another color, but I didn't. I'm going to push 0 again. And so there is my little truck. Now the next thing I want to do is digitize the circles behind the little truck. And I find it difficult to see those. So there's a lot of ways to go about this, but the way I'm going to choose to do that is select the blue and open the object properties. Up here is a piece of paper is one way to open those. See that little paper icon? And I'm just going to make the stitch spacing much less, much thinner. So instead of a stitch every 0.45 millimeters, I'm going to put in 1 and push apply and OK. Now I don't know when I stitch it if I'll leave those settings, but that made it much easier to see through to these red dots that I want to digitize. So I'm going to do that by just creating some circles. So I'm going to use my ellipse tool, and I'll click in the center, and I'll click on the edge. You see it kind of grow. So there we go. I'll push enter. Boom. Now that, I wish I had made a new color, so I will select it and make it red like it was on the original design. So now I'm just going to right click and drag to clone these circles. Now there are many ways to do this, guys. This is just the way I'm choosing to do it. And when I right click and drag, it copies those circles anywhere I put them. And if you will notice, I am not being careful about the edge of the truck with these full circles, because we're going to use our cool knife tool and make those circles fit perfectly. So I'm just right clicking and dragging. And let's come back out and see, there's one more down here. Right click and drag. Is that all? Yep, one more on the end, right click and drag. So now I have a whole bunch of red circles, and I think just for visual clarity I'm going to dim the artwork. I'm not getting rid of it, but right here it says show bitmap. I'm going to click that flower, and now all I have is my stitches. There's an edit toolbox up here on the left, edit. And I'm going to use the knife. Now I had already been down to the knife, so if you need to scroll up and down, then go ahead and scroll up and down until you get to the knife. Now, I shouldn't have chosen the knife yet. To use the knife, you need to select what you're going to cut. So select the circle, not the blue, then select the knife. And you'll see that the mouse looks like a knife, and then you can cut. Click, click, enter. And see how the item became cut? You can tell that it's 2. So I'm going to now come up to the next one, and I will select the object, select the knife, click, click, enter. There it is. In a minute we'll delete those sides. Here we go. Now I can do 3 clicks, so I can get rid of this little corner. So I'm going to select the circle, select the knife, and I can say click, left click, left click, left click, enter. And it will get rid of, in fact I'll just go ahead now and delete that, so you can see that it did it in a corner. So the knife is kind of cool. So I'm just going to speed up the film, but just know that all I'm doing is selecting the object, selecting the knife, and then clicking. So now I will come back and I will just select those parts that are hanging off, and I'm using the delete key on my keyboard. And ta-da, there we go. So I'm going to bring the picture back, and the next thing I want to digitize, I'll come back to the Digitize toolbar, a closed object, a white color, and let's do a left click, a left click, a left click, a left click, enter. And then we want to do the wheels. And so I'm going to use my ellipse tool again, and I'm going to do center of this wheel to the outside of the gray, enter, and I wish I had made that gray, so I'm going to go ahead and make that gray. And then I'm going to use the white now again. Oops, sorry, gray. And now, while it's not selected, I'm going to go back to choose white, ellipse, and I'm going to do in the middle, and drag it out, and then push enter, and there I have the white circle. So now, let's see, let's do the little tailgate back here, and then we're almost done. For this, we might as well use rectangle. I could have done this rectangle there also. So it's either rectangle or click, click, click. So I'm going to do the rectangle this time. Click and drag, and click, and there it is. Okay, I didn't do the second wheel because I'm going to just finish this wheel and copy to that one. All right. So now I'm kind of finished with the little picture, so I'm going to dim that artwork and get rid of it. And I'm going to select the red dots, come up to edit, and I'm going to choose remove overlaps. And look at that, it punched a whole bunch of holes in the little truck. I'm going to select the steering wheel again. The windshield, remove overlaps. Down here, I'm going to select the center of that wheel and remove overlaps so that the gray wheel is not covered. Then now I'm going to select the gray wheel, hold my control key and select the center. And I can now, let's turn the picture back on so I get the right location, and I'm going to right click and drag, and that will duplicate that wheel. So now I have two. I'm going to dim that picture again. So now I can select all of the wheels. So I'm going to hold my control and get all of those, and once again I will say remove overlaps, and that will cut that out of the little truck. So we'll be able to see that that truck now has the wheel holes cut out also. I believe that I would like to have the little truck outlined, and so I am going to well, actually I'd like to change the stitch order of this also. I think I want the white windshield under the truck. I want that windshield to stitch first. So I'm going to select it in the color film, and I'm going to move it back all the way up to the front of the whole thing. So now the very first thing that's going to stitch will be the white windshield, and then the blue truck, and then I'm going to let the dots be on top of the truck, and then the wheels on top of that. Now the dots, they're going to jump around, and I want to, because I digitized them in whatever random order it didn't. I'm going to right click and say hide others. And now I can't get anything but the little red dots. I will zoom to selected. And so now I'm going to do this again. Click outside. So there's the first one, the next one, the next one. So this makes it easier. I'm holding the control key the whole time. And now I'll hit 1, 2, 3. And that will sequence those by selected. And so the way those are going to stitch, you can tell when I went into the individual objects that it's going to go through and stitch those in the order I selected them. So that's how you take care of that, and then you didn't need to worry. I'm going to right click over here and push unhide all, so my whole design is now back again. And the last thing I want to do, I want an outline on the little truck, so I'm going to select that. And I'm going to come over here to the edit toolbox again and zoom up to outlines and offsets. And I'm going to select a triple outline. I'll leave it in this pink color, but I could have chosen any color. I'll just leave the pink so that I'll be sure and see it and say OK. And so now I have a pink outline. And actually, I'm going to use that outline. I did not need to outline each one of those holes. So I can come in, and now if it shows individual objects again, and I can get rid of the outlines around the holes. I do want it around the windshield, but I don't want it around the holes. Because I'm going to stitch the holes on top. Okay, so now the outline around the holes, it's just on the outside. Now the reason I want these outlines is I think I'll put that glow in the dark or that flash thread, and that would make it so that and I may do that flash thread the inside of the windshield also, I'll see. So once again, I'm going to select this gray tire. I'm going to come over and I'll hold Control and select the other gray tire, and I'm going to create an outline on those also. And so now there are outlines on the gray tires. So the first thing I want to do also, I'm going to move this to the end. So I can just tell it to go clear to the end. And I will show these objects by color. So let's see what's going to happen. The first thing will be the windshield. I'm going to make that green so I can see it in my color film. So the first thing will be the windshield. Then the truck. Then the truck will be outlined. Then the dots. Let's move that outline after the dots. So then there are the wheels. In fact, let's move that outline even after the wheels. But let's get the wheels together. So I'm going to move that down one. So there, I'm going to make these green so that I can see them again. And I'm going to put those together, make sure that the two centers stitch together. Okay, and then I think this outline will come even after the wheels. Yep, and then the wheels and the outline on the wheels all ended up at the same place. Might as well outline that also. And then we'll move that to the bottom. And so now the whole little truck outline. So the way this is going to stitch so far, there's going to be a windshield, a truck, the dots on the truck, the centers of the tires, the little bumper, and then the whole thing will be outlined. So now the last thing I've got to do is add the name. So I'm going to come over here to Digitize again. I'm going to go into lettering, right click, and then open it up, and I'm going to put in Henry with a capital. And I know that I want this child's play. I'll push apply, OK, click, and there it is. So then I'll kind of position it in the middle. While it's selected, let me right click. I'm going to hide everything. I'm going to hold the Control so that I have the outline, and I'm going to right click and push hide others. So now I've got the size of the truck, but I can just deal with not all of that confusion, right? So I'm going to put this on the truck where I want, and I'm going to click it again and rotate it a little bit so it's a little bit wonky. And then I'm going to break this apart. So I'll go to the Edit toolbox and break it apart. And so now I'm going to take just the letter H. It's still a letter, but I'm going to resize that. And so I'm going to make that H bigger than the rest of the word. I like to make the first letter larger a lot of the time. So there we go. Now it says Henry on the truck. I'll come back to the color film and right click and push unhide all. And Henry, let's see, let me grab the whole name. And once again, I'm going to say remove overlaps. And since it's on top, there we go. And you'll be able to see in the little blue truck the name Henry. Well, it's hard to tell, but it's there. So it is, let me move it to the side and you can see. See how it kind of got rid of some of the stitching under those letters? Sometimes it matters, sometimes it doesn't. Let me push undo and it'll put it right back where it belonged. And so this is my little truck. There's a lot more we can do, but this video is already long enough, but I hope you enjoy that. So we've got a really cute little truck that's going to match his fabric, and this is Shelly with Sew Shelly Quilts. I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel or visit me at sewshellyquilts.com or on Facebook at Sew Shelly Quilts. And I will see you again soon. Bye.